This week I started with a simple idea to follow and see where I could end up. And I started with a ball bouncing on the head, direct it by bouncing it under certain positions, and I realized it was just kind of annoying. It wasn't very fun, didn't really lead anywhere, at least this basic of the idea. So I removed the thought of just keeping it up in the air on your head, let it bounce around the room, and designed a simple stage to just see how this felt. And while it did feel better, I felt like I still needed some sort of tool to help direct it to where I ultimately wanted it to go. The tool I ended up trying was a raycast that would pop the ball from the point of collision from the raycast. So when you press it on the bottom of the ball, it pops up. When you press it on the top of the ball, it pops down, and you can direct it pretty much any way you want to go, generally going in the forward direction. With the basic mechanic in place, I needed a more interesting stage to really test it and see how it was feeling. So I made a stage with a couple corridors, just moving right, left again to move the ball from the beginning to the goal. I spent a good amount of time just clicking the ball through this stage a lot and getting a feel for the overall mechanic, and I got pretty decent at controlling the ball after a long enough time. I think it could use some fine tuning still. There's some things that just feel a little bit unwieldy as you're trying to move the ball around. I played around with a couple different ideas of how to adjust the mechanics. One thing I did was make it far less bouncy, which did not feel any good, honestly. It just got stuck against walls and you would just kind of fail to push it forward as much. And then another thing I tried was, instead of adding to the speed with each click, I just set the speed to a specific amount, but then you really never get any good momentum going. It's kind of just going slowly through. Then I wanted to make a stage with a requirement of some kind, something to force the player to perform some action to reach the goal instead of just simply pushing the ball through to the goal. So I created a simple button that, upon being hit by the ball, opens up a new area. And initially I only had the one button, and you would open that up and then have the goal, but you were kind of just left with it being pretty straightforward, and I felt like I could use a little bit of a mix-up, so I added the button to the left to mix things up a bit, and I think that helps the stage feel a little bit more interesting. It's a little less linear and forces you to think about some different angles that you normally wouldn't have had to think about. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about any of the things I'm doing here with this ball. If you have any ideas or suggestions that might impact the feel, make it feel better, or if you want to try it out, let me know. And I'll get a build out published to the newsletter, which you can follow in the description. And once you have access to that, you'll get access to any builds that I do put out. Like, subscribe, follow, all that stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one.